My approach is really two-pronged. There's a human element in that every case starts with a phone call and someone who's suffering, whether it's injury to themselves, a loved one, a parent, child they've lost. Everyone is suffering. And all the medical records we look at and all the cases we review, I always try to keep in mind that there's a human being behind those medical records, and I always try to keep that front and center. So I always go to the client's home, get to know their family, get to know how this has really impacted them so we can learn best how to help them. Legally, my approach is what I learned as a young lawyer. There's no substitute for the hard work, going through the records, taking good depositions, and always being the best prepared guy in the room if you can be, and trying to get the best result we can for the client. My biggest mentor, and I started doing medical malpractice close to 20 years ago. I went to work for a firm, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was lucky enough to have one of the best trial lawyers, most respected trial lawyers in Baltimore and DC at that time to learn from. And they don't teach you a lot in law school about trying cases and taking depositions, and being able to watch him and learn from him for years how to question witnesses, how to conduct yourself in front of judges, how to deal with opposing attorneys was vital. But more than that, what he really taught me is that you can be a really good trial lawyer and still do it in a very ethical, professional, cordial manner. He was an old school, handshake is my word type of a guy, and I've tried to carry that forward as best we can. Learning from someone who can do it, practically in the courtroom as well as he did, but also do it on a professional level the way he did. I still try to emulate that if I can. In terms of preparation for my current practice, I was lucky enough to spend the first 9 years of my medical malpractice career defending doctors and hospitals. And by that, I mean I represented the doctors and hospitals who were being sued for malpractice. So I got to meet with the actual doctors, learn from them. I got to meet with all the defense experts and learn the medicine from them. More importantly, I got brought into the inner circle of the hospital as they assess these cases. Claims committee meetings, risk management meetings. You learn how these hospitals and insurance companies assess these cases and how they defend these cases. And I use that information every day in my practice now as we prosecute cases on behalf of the injured patients. We use that information to strategize our cases. We know what the defendant is thinking and how they're reviewing these cases internally, because we did that for years, and I myself did it for 9 solid years.